You know, a thing that I wanted to say about all of these platforms is that the job of a content creator is to keep you engaged with the platform and keep you on the platform for longer so that you're exposed to more of the platform's advertisements. It's very much giving that Black Mirror episode 15 million merits. And that is not very much in alignment with my values. But you know what is? Using that same principle to subvert the hierarchy. Because what if my content keeps you on the platform for longer, exposed to the ideas around disrupting the status quo? And so everything that I do across platforms is rooted in that kind of energy. Hey Cosmic Cuties, it is your friendo, the Lady Ms. Vagina Jenkins, and this is part 2 of a 3-part mini-series where I am talking about how I became a content creator and how I'm using social media to navigate capitalism. In part 1, which I will link up here somewhere, we talked about my class background and the people that I come from, my sort of attitude to work, surviving capitalism, all of those things. And we talked a little bit about the astrology that helps me feel secure in becoming a content creator. In this video, we're going to talk about the specific platforms that I'm on and specific dollar amounts. And then in the last video, I want to do like a Q&A because y'all have sent in some amazing questions about how I do this thing or how people do this thing, just generally speaking, that I would love to touch on. So yeah, let's get into the numbers of it all. I might have to grab my laptop. Be right back. So my total monthly expenses usually run between $1,900 and $2,000 a month. I'm going to put in $1,960. Now let's compare that to monthly income. So the Patreon and BuyMeACoffee blogs are my most consistent form of income, and I'm going to put that at $1,060 per month. So this is my Patreon income for the last 12 months. And my Patreon income, I group into like a group of income called blog income because my patreon.com blog and my buymeacoffee.com blog are the same content, just different platforms because other people, you know, some people prefer one platform over the other. This income, as you'll see, varies widely. I feel like the most that I made in the last year was this 1217 amount, and the least that I've made in the last year is last month's, or this month because we're technically still in April, this month's payout of 916. What is difficult about this blog income is that it is to this level of inconsistency, and it seems like, you know, a $60 difference or a $200-300 difference shouldn't make that big a deal, but it really does when you're already living in precarity. And so I always ask my blog supporters, one, to pledge an amount that feels sustainable. I think a lot about white saviorism and the culture of charity instead of the culture of mutual aid and reparations. I think that charity and white saviorism says that you have to show up with a large amount of money because that level of largesse is how you save someone. But to be in community with someone, to be committed to reparations work, which is long-term work, to be in community and in mutual aid and in partnership with someone in that way, these are all long-term sustainable things. And so yeah, a smaller gift that is more sustainable over a long period of time is much more appreciated to me than one large gift of largesse, because what will happen is I'll go to get my payout and I think that it's going to be $1,000, and then I see an exit survey that's like, oh, my financial situation has changed, and I'm like, yeah, so has mine, friend, and I wish that I could have gotten some heads up about that. So yeah, this is my Patreon income, and let me show you the other blog income as well. So this is my BuyMeACoffee.com blog income. Right now, I'm making about $60 a month from for members or patrons or subscribers. Um, and I wanted to show you this because I wanted to share this income, but also because of this table here. So this is what I'm talking about when I talk about white saviorism, charity, and it not being sustainable. I had a person that joined at the $222 tier, which, by the way, I would suggest if you are doing any sort of blogging that is a monthly subscription to have amounts that are in the $5, $10, $20 a month range, but also, you know, offer amounts that seem maybe unachievable because you never know who wants to support you. Anyway, this person wanted to support at $222 a month, and they were able to do so from July of 23 to basically October of 2023. And then all of a sudden, I lost $200 worth of income because they were a Zionist. This October 2023 date is when the most recent siege on Palestine began, and I talked about it, and yeah, they immediately dipped without a conversation. So yeah, being in your principles can also affect your income, and when you're already precarious and living on the margins, that can be quite a hit. So yeah, that is this buy me a coffee experience, and now I'm, more often around $65 a month. My next largest pot of income is the fundraising that I do via mutual aid, community care sorts of channels. Yes, I am one of those queer people who is often having to emergency fundraise to be able to pay the rent on the first. I'm noticing as the economy dips deeper into this recession, into depression territory, that there are more of us, and that the pushback or hatred that people seem to have towards us is becoming more palpable or more vocal. I suppose you're just supposed to starve to death and be homeless quietly. I'm being sarcastic, but I really wish that when people had a knee-jerk reaction to anything, but to seeing someone asking for help particularly, that folks would sit with themselves to understand why that feels so disturbing. Is it because you are afraid to ask for help? Is it because you think that you should pull yourself up only by your bootstraps and that you're a rugged individual that does not need help? Yeah, sit with yourself and understand your feelings instead of taking them out on other people that are literally just asking for help surviving capitalism. I'm rambling because it really, really gets to me, but also I know that you know what I mean. I'm not going to put a dollar amount for the fundraising yet because the fundraising depends on the gap in income that I'm trying to make up. So the next source of income that I have is my art sales and astrology consults income. You can see that the art sale income is all over the place. Most months, 0. 1 month right before Christmas, $600. It's very feast or famine. So on average, $20 a month. The astrology consults are much more consistent. And right now, I feel like that's averaging about $223 a month. And the astrology consult sales seems to be linked somehow or related somehow to my YouTube content. And that's part of what keeps me motivated to continue creating YouTube astrology content, because it does expose new folks to my work, my astrology ethos, and sometimes those folks will book a reading with me based on having, seen my YouTube content. The next source of income that I have is YouTube. So right now, on average, I'm going to say that YouTube is about $50 of income per month. even though, technically speaking, YouTube does not allow me to withdraw funds that I have earned until I reach the $100 threshold. So right now, what's happened is I get paid out $100 every other month instead of $50 a month. So this is the income that I make from YouTube. This is the YouTube Studios Earn or Earnings tab. And I wanted to start here because I wanted to show you all the ways that you can earn money on YouTube. So before I started YouTube, I was only aware of this, earning money from the ads that play on your long form videos. But there's also earning money from ads that play on your short form videos. There's also at 500 subscribers and I think 1,000 watch hours, you can earn money from memberships in your channel, people that subscribe like on a monthly basis and support in that way. You can also earn money via super thanks and gifts. Super thanks are that little heart button that you'll see below this video. Or when I'm live, people can do a gift, which is a similar concept. It's basically just like a one-time tip. You can also set up a shop on YouTube, which I don't have, and you can also use their Brand Connect, where they connect you directly to potential brand partners to do like in-content ads. That has not happened for me yet either. So those last two are not necessarily relevant to me. But I'll tell you, I was thinking when I hit the 500 subscriber mark and I set up my memberships and supers and gifts, I kind of didn't think that it was going to be that big a deal, but I did it anyway. Because, you know, a little bit of income is better than no income, right? Turns out that is where the majority of my YouTube income comes from. So if you are at or above 500 subscribers or close to it, I'm just mentioning it so that you don't like completely dismiss the idea that that can be a source of income for you, because it ends up being more income from that than from the watch page ads, which I did not expect. But yeah, let's get into what I'm learning from the different categories. So on watch page ads, the thing to note from that is that this cost per mille, it's basically what YouTube pays you per 1,000 views on your channel across all of the videos that you make. And this, they say, ranges from anywhere from $8 to $15 if you're in the US. They usually pay a little higher than they do in other countries. But yeah, $12.54 is actually pretty decent. And I've seen this number change from when I first started, it was around $9, and now it's around, you know, this $12.54 mark. And yeah, as you can see, each day it tells me how much I'm making. 30 cents, 24 cents, 62 cents, you know? So in the time period between March 30th and April 26th, basically the last month, I've made $7 in ads, and that feels embarrassing. I just really expected this number to be higher. But you know, growth being what it is, you have to start somewhere. I don't really put out shorts because I just don't do short form content, but also I don't really love the pricing structure for shorts feeds ads. In memberships, I earn anywhere from like $20 to $30 a month. I have 5 members right now. So that's what I'm making from YouTube right now. And so, to reiterate, Patreon income about $1,000 a month. Buy Me a Coffee blog, $60 a month. Astro consults average $223 a month. Art sales average $20 a month. and YouTube is about $50 a month. So right now, altogether, that level of income is $1,353. So that $1,353 minus actual monthly expenses of $1,960 comes out to a deficit of $607. And that is what I make up for with my fundraising. And my fundraising is heavily Instagram dependent, in that that's where I have most of my chosen family communities, and where I am most visible. And so I post my fundraising ask to Instagram, and then I allow it to auto repost to my Facebook and Threads accounts because they're all meta related. So one post ends up in 3 different places. I could make a whole separate video about how I approach mutual aid fundraising on Instagram. But yeah, this is me being fully transparent about my financials and how I make a living, how I survive capitalism using social media. Stay tuned for the 3rd part, where I answer y'all's specific questions about the best strategies for navigating these platforms as it relates to your particular financial goals. Thanks as always for watching my videos. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't yet, and if you are subscribed, please contemplate becoming a member of this channel or offering up support via the thanks button below. I can't wait to see you in part 3. Bye.